Listen, the only true girl's girl that I know tells the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. This podcast called The Virgo's Bible is it. Here, listen. Hello, everyone. It has been such a long time, okay, but I am back and I'm very happy to be. So, law number 7. Make sure that your glamour magic is tight. So, in this episode, I want to talk about how glamour magic plays a role in how you show up in the world and how you come off to people in the world. We have this thing where we internalize all of the teachings that our teachers taught us, our parents, and everyone else, and that we've encountered socially and all this other stuff, and societal standards and X, Y, and Z, that we didn't go back and fact check half of the things that we learned. Now, when we speak on glamour magic and making sure that it's tight, I mean the foundation of your practice, because there are many forms of magic within itself, right? Within your practice. You have glamour magic, you have baneful magic, because sometimes the bitch got you fucked up, right? You just can't sit here and let people play in your face. So you got to do what you got to do now. There's so many forms of magic that we practice at our altars, but I want to talk about glamour magic and making sure that it's end to end tight. So number 1, what is the foundation of your practice? Now, I personally believe that we all need our elders. I know we grow up in a culture, American culture to be exact, that we believe that elders aren't important, but the elders are the foundation of everything. They're the foundation of life. We need them. We don't treat them the way that we should because of our conditioning. When you go to other cultures, they revere their ancestors, number 1, but they also hold their elders to a high standard. They take care of them because they are the pinnacle of their village, their community, society even. But over here, they got it backwards. They got it backwards. They worship youth more than they worship wisdom and being seasoned, I guess you could say. They have this sick obsession with youthfulness to the point where they don't allow themselves to grow past a certain age, both physically and mentally. And physically, it's cool, whatever. You want to look a certain way, fine. But remember, youth, quote unquote youth, it starts from the inside outwardly. So you have to take care of yourself, not just like your organs and your health and your nutrition, but it's also about your mental capacity. You're only as old as you think you are, of course, but you can't be a young-minded, youthful person with also the mentality of a 15-year-old and you're all of 40. Like, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. We already got those. Like, do something else. Like, we got too many grown children out here, right? Half of these adults out here, they are grown as hell and they act like they're shoe size. I've worked with people that act their shoe size, and they are my elders. Okay. I knew a woman literally that was like 65 years old, still putting sugar and rocks in people's gas tanks. And you already know where I'm getting with this. Like, there are some women that haven't elevated past their high school years because they're developmentally arrested, and they can't get beyond that because that's all they know, and they haven't tried to elevate higher. And when you are that way and you practice glamour magic, oh my God, you are a fucking monster. A monster. You have like where your parents at, girl? Who is your mama and them? Like, where your people at? Who helped you get here? You are a terror, okay? Some people just don't know how to be around other people because they aren't a people person, number one. But they are also just really nasty. And this is what I mean. You can't sit here and practice glamour magic and you don't have a solid foundation. You don't have your ancestors or some form of an elder, a teacher, a coach involved. And you don't have a solid foundation where not just you're working on your external, like I'm working with color magic. I'm working with different archetypal embodiments. I'm working with this. I'm working with that. You're missing the foundation where your mind is also being cultivated. You have to box out an area within your practice where you focus on personal development. When you focus on personal development, that's when your magic is going to go, like it's going to go up. Okay. You can't think that I'm practicing all of this magic. I'm getting all these dudes and girls and they fine as hell. I'm getting money. People buying me drinks, paying for my trips, buying me Birkins and, Shanays and all this other stuff. And you are a piece of shit as a person. Like, that doesn't work. Like, how can you call yourself any form of a practitioner, a hoodoo, a glamour witch, a hoodoo, a glamour hoodoo girl, whatever you want to call yourself? How can you say such a thing and you don't put personal development as the head of your practice? Hey girl, so I know we just met, but I think we should be friends. Like, seriously. The best way to let me know though is by subscribing to the newsletter in the listen notes and sharing this show with another friend so we can all be friends. Okay, the math has to be mathing. All right, so I won't keep you any longer. Back to the show. Now, one thing I want to talk about is my latest course, which is called Vices and Nuances. It's inside of the Coven. The early bird tickets are available now. The course actually will be dropped on March the 28th. So everything is already done for you. You can take it on your time. It's at your pace. It's not a very long drawn out course, right? It's like, I would say at most about an hour and 30. You can knock that sucker out in an hour and 30 minutes in a day, girl. It's not a very long course, right? It's not something that you're going to have to, go back to. If you don't want to, you can break it up however you want. But either way it goes. This course, I wanted this to be a part of the Coven because this is like a prequel to the soul initiation program that I have, the Mystic Soul Initiation. That is a very in-depth program where I'm taking you through the motions of doing self-initiations into yourself and into your own personal practice. But this Vices is more so of a glimpse of that course, but from a very focused perspective. I'm focusing on the sociological aspects, the psychological aspects, and the spiritual aspects of your vices and finding the nuance within those different areas in order to become a whole, well-rounded person. So from a sociological standpoint, we know society tells us how we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to be, right? That's number one. That's a handler right there. Handler number one. We're going to call sociology or social issues handler number one. Handler number two is your psychological capacity to just be developed, period. Like your mental development. Like, where are you at? Are you lacking? Are you there? Like, what's going on? Is it something that's clinical, or is it something that can be adjusted with some therapy, some shadow work, some underworld work? Like, what are we doing? And handler number three is spirituality. Some people think that being spiritual is for aesthetics, and that's why a lot of your faves have flipped. They found Jesus again. And far be it for me to judge, but if you ask me from a personal perspective, I think something fishy going on. I think baby girl missed the plot. Okay, something was missing. I think that I'm not saying that if you go with a specific religion, because Christianity is not the only religion there is, right? There's so many different African traditional religions that we have. But the basis of all of those things are you and your relationship with your Most High, whatever that looked like for you. That's the basis of it. So if you see someone flopping, flipping from one religion to another or one practice to another, I'm gonna have to say, hey, what's going on? Because what's really what you missing? What are you missing here? Are you looking for community? Are you looking for yourself? Are you looking for your higher power? Like, what are you looking for? What's the purpose? If there's one thing to be a student, I think a true theologist, a true student will study everything. I don't give a damn if it resonates with you or not. To be curious is to also to be interested in other things. I would study every fucking thing because I'm curious. What is this? Why do y'all do this? Like, what does this mean for you? I would be so intrigued by that. I find it interesting. That's what theology, a true theologist is not going to limit themselves to one thing, right? Not saying you got to practice everything, but to be curious about other things. That's what I mean by that. Because everything is not for you, right? You know, we don't do cultural appropriation and stuff, right? But what I'm saying is it's important to remain curious, to remain a student. What did you miss when you were flip-flopping? Okay, your handlers are tearing your ass up. So when inside of that, I wanted to go into depth into those different aspects and how different vices are created. Because some people just miss the whole everything. Like they flip flop and they don't know where to go. Like they missed it. Right. But number one, what I've noticed is that a lot of people that are practicing glamour magic aren't elevating no higher than who they were mentally when they started. And they're missing the plot there. The purpose of practicing any of this is to become better. Have you remember being in high school, right? And you like, damn, Johnny been a sophomore for the past year and a half. Like, what's good with him? He been a D-Moon sophomore forever. Like, what's this motherfucker damn near 18 now? Like, why are you still here? You was here when I first got here. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's like you've been practicing for a year and this way you at now? Like, girl, what you doing? I think you need to go back to the drawing board. Where's the elevation here? And you know, I know people get this thing where the only way you are successful or the measure, I'm measuring your success through my own personal lens of what I see as success, right? I know some people think that way, but let me tell you this. That shit don't matter. Some people believe that just because, you have a certain, if you have a certain following or a certain amount of numbers, let me tell you this. None of that matters. That's all social bullshit. Not saying that the person that has those numbers and has that following didn't earn it, right? Like they worked their ass off. They posted the content. They were present within their own community, right? And they did their work. But some people think that equates to spiritual prowess. And I spoke about this one time. It doesn't. People just great with fucking marketing, bitch. Like, where are we missing? What are we missing here? Some people are that way. Others are great with marketing and they can back that shit up. You get what I'm saying? So if you've been practicing, first of all, I'm gonna take a proverb from 50 Cent. What was that song? He said, you've been hustling all this time and you still ain't got nothing. Basically, you've been hustling all this time and you ain't got nothing. You've been doing all of this spiritual work and you still ain't, what are you missing here? What step did you miss? I can tell you what step they missed. They didn't have a strong foundation in their practice. When you start doing anything, you have to ask yourself, why am I doing this shit? What is the purpose? What am I looking to gain from doing any of this? Right? Some people don't understand what their why is, and that's why they are out here looking crazy. They've been doing all of this stuff for so long, and it hasn't amounted to anything. Not a damn thing. And unfortunately for them, they're going to be in an endless loop and an endless cycle of the same shit, the same results. When you consistently do the same thing and expect different results, that is the definition of insanity. You are going crazy, my love. You are going bananas. And I hate that for you. I hate that for you so much, okay? Another thing I want to talk about is your energetic signature. Okay, so I created a magazine, right? So I'm the type of girl, or woman rather, I love nostalgia. I love the 90s. Like, it's my heart. It has my heart. And I wanted to pay homage to the era in which I grew up in. So I created a magazine, but it's called the Venetian Glamour-zine. The Glamour-zine goes with the Venetian Glamour Magic course that I created. And I don't know if you ever had Teen Vogue back in the day, the little Teen Vogue magazines. They were so cute and small. Or what is the other teen magazine? Oh my God, was it Hype? No, I'm thinking about Hype here. That's something completely different. My God. Oh my God. Anyway, it had B2K in them on the cover. It was one of those. But anyway, I wanted to go back to that and that feel. But I also wanted to put some valuable information regarding Glamour Magic into the Glamour-zine. So it's like you have the Glamour Magic course at your fingertips whenever you want it. So I wanted something that can be both those things, interactive, fun, and something that is imbued with so much fucking cachet, like it's just crazy. Place that sucker on your altar. Place it on your Glamour Magic altar and see what happens. I dare you. Okay. All of the information inside of that book, I swear by. Everything in that book, I've done. So I can tell you, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? I can tell you. Now, some of the things you may not have seen on my personal, Instagram, TikTok pages, because some of the things is like, if I mess with you like that, that's how you're going to see it. But other than that, yeah, I swear by everything in that book. So I'm trying to tell you, get it, moonselenergy.com. But I'm just going to read an excerpt from the Glamour-zine. It's about energetic signatures. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of people that are out here practicing their practice, they are not aware of themselves, how they come off to people, and the type of energy that they bring to the room. Some people don't understand aura magic and their just aura in general, or aka your toroidal field. They don't understand any of that and how it impacts people. This is why, just to give you some tidbits on your aura, you can feel energy, right? When you enter into a space, you can feel different energies. This is why people talk about empaths and them doing more protection work, because they are more sensitive, right? But when you are around certain people, they have the ability to either bring you up or bring you down just by their energy. Your energy introduces you before you even enter a room, not enter a room, but before you even open your mouth to speak. So you are going to be introduced by your energy first. Okay. So a lot of people don't understand that. And I think that needs to be spoken on. So I spoke on it inside of the Venetian Glamour-zine in regards to energetic signatures. So I'm just going to read an excerpt so you can get a feel of what I'm talking about. So just to start, you may have heard this before, or you may have not. Your energetic signature is as it sounds. Your signature, but in an energetic form. Most will call this your aura. If you have been blessed with the gift of clairsentience, you will have the ability to sense this when you are around people. Your signature, essence, or cachet should be palpable and unforgettable. When we are speaking in terms of glamour magic, this can be manipulated. Even if you aren't fully at the point of where you want to be energetic wise, you can use glamour magic to quote unquote fake it till you make it. However, you can't perpetrate for long. The way in which you cultivate this authentic signature is by doing your work. This entails addressing the entities that you possess, working on character development, confidence in yourself, self-image, cultivating, and most importantly, loving yourself. Everyone has been places where they may have noticed someone that was unforgettable. Be it how visually appealing they were, how lighthearted and fun they may have been, or it can even be how they made them feel personally. Their signatures are still embedded into their psyche. Outside of your own personal work to build yourself up, the entities that you possess can impact your signature as well, be it negative, positive, or indifferent. Have you ever been around someone who has just felt so warm, like a really good hug from your favorite family member? That can be true. That can be their true demeanor as well as a spirit/deity that is attached to them. Don't forget, as much as a positive impact a spirit or deity can have on your essence, so can entities. As mentioned in the next section, I talk about the house of spirits within here. Your house of spirits can impact the manner in which you go about your life and come across the people. So I go into depth. I go into some real details in regards to energetic signatures and so many other things. I break down so many aspects of glamour magic. I talk about mentalism as how that impacts your glamour magic, the way that you think, the way that you present yourself, all of that, everything, even down to makeup, girl. Like, I really went down into it, but it's so much to talk about inside of there. But back to what I wanted to speak on. Make sure that you are mindful of how you present yourself. When we erect these altars for glamour, like my glamour magic has been amazing over the years, and it's been doing me really good. Even in the moments, the years in the beginning when I didn't know or was aware of my energy and my essence and how I, came off to people. Let me tell you this. When you are in a space in your life, when you are in your ebbing season, and your ebbing season is like your hardship time, your sad girl era, if you will. This generation. Anyway, when you are in your sad girl era, okay, and you going through some stuff, even in those times when you're sad, it's important to remember to not stay there. It's important to feel every feeling that you feel. It's important to vocalize your emotions and speak on how you feel. Tell this person that they had you fucked up. Say, I've been sad for a couple of years or a couple of weeks and I'm not really feeling this. You have to be conscious of your emotions, and you have to make conscious decisions with your emotions, meaning you have to be able to direct those emotions constructively in the right direction. Go get therapy. Go write in your journal. Go light a candle and do some underworld meditation work. Do whatever the hell you got to do. But the bottom line is the choice is yours to whether or not you stay in those places and whether you want to be in that rut that you've been in for who knows how long, right? So it's very important that you are aware of how your mental state impacts your glamour magic. It is very important that you are aware of how your mental state impacts your energy and how it impacts your glamour magic. You have to be aware of yourself. We're not going to be tip-top 100% all the time because we're human. What I feel like people forget is we get so fucking spiritual and get so much into these damn candles and fucking altars and stuff that we forget that you are your first altar. Nothing external of you, right? You are it. You are the source for your connection with your ancestors. You are the number one source for the connection with your higher power and whatever else. The cosmos, the moon, the stars, all of that. You are that. And when you understand that, you understand that it's more than just a crystal or a statue on an altar that represents a deity or a jar, a spell. Like, you are the spell. So you have to make sure that you are good, right? And if you're not good, it's okay. Give yourself your space, but don't project that shit on everybody. That glamour magic gonna start turning into poison. And when it becomes poison, you can't be surprised when people are treating you a certain way or looking at you a certain way, or you're not receiving the results a certain way like you used to because you're not doing your work. Work on yourself, and then all else will follow, okay? So I just want to top in and say that. Make sure you check yourself before you wreck yourself. I love you, okay? Thank you for tuning into this episode. Make sure that you check out the listen notes of this podcast for highlights, the crystal ball link, book recommendations, and more. Also, make sure that you're subscribed to the VIP newsletter to receive all things a part of the Virgo's Bible Multiverse. See you in the next one. Bye, girl.